At a recent church gathering, many attendees couldn't help but notice something unusual when Chrisean Rock arrived with her nearly 2-year-old son. While some were chatting about her latest song, most eyes were drawn to her child. Not because of his outfit or looks, but due to an unsettling feeling that something was amiss. Those familiar with Chrissy and her family quickly picked up on the change. The child seemed almost frozen in time, showing little difference from the last glimpses shared on social media months earlier. Rather than a joyful mother proudly displaying a thriving child, the mood felt tense and unease rippled through the crowd. The boy appeared stuck in the same state as before, revealing no clear signs of growth or development. It was not just his appearance that caused concern, his behavior added to the alarm. The toddler avoided eye contact, remained mostly still, and seemed detached from the world around him. A physician who had no ties to the family publicly shared a professional opinion after a video emerged of Chrissy carrying her son into the church. The doctor warned that without immediate medical care, the child might never develop the ability to speak. This expert insight wasn't idle speculation, but a serious evaluation that quickly spread across online communities, intensifying the gaya worries. This was reminiscent of Blueface's mother's early experience after giving birth, which she chose to share live on Instagram. Though she appeared grateful and joyful, viewers noticed subtle yet troubling signs in her infant. The baby barely moved his head, showed no interest in his surroundings, and reacted to the environment with little engagement. His cry was not the usual soft whimper, but a sharp, piercing scream that only deepened concerns. Despite mounting alarm, Chrisean Rock repeatedly insisted in videos that her son was fine. She even defended tattooing Blueface's name on her body while the baby's sobs echoed in the background. Many viewers found this unsettling, unable to ignore the distressing signs. As the child grew, at 8 months the baby showed minimal interest in feeding, rarely responding to a spoon approaching his mouth, raising serious questions about his developmental progress. Rather than accusations of neglect, comments from concerned followers were mostly sincere, asking why the child seemed so lethargic and why he wasn't meeting common milestones for his age. Chrissy responded defensively, dismissing the remarks as baseless drama and negativity. She denied claims that her baby could not hold his head up, smile, or vocalize, maintaining that doctors had assured her all was well. However, the absence of any medical documentation or proof left many uncertain about the true situation. Observers also pointed out physical features such as a small head, flat facial profile, and low-set ears, speculating that his unusual cries could be linked to withdrawal symptoms. Chrissy's sporadic social media updates further muddied the waters. Many believed that if medical professionals had truly given her reassurance, she would have shared evidence to quell the growing fears. Blueface later added his perspective, stating that Chrissy delayed surgery for their son's hernia until the condition worsened. Though she posted about the child's rapid recovery, things seemed to decline again after she shared a video of her son walking near his first birthday. Instead of calming concerns, the shaky, unnatural steps raised more questions. The boy lacked the curiosity and playfulness typical of children that age, seeming almost forced in his movements, as if made to perform progress for an audience. Rather than seeing a healthy, developing child, viewers saw a distant, fragile boy disconnected from his surroundings. Doubts emerged about whether Chrissy was using her son to maintain public attention and her connection to Blueface. What began as a topic of judgment grew into one of genuine concern. Typically, toddlers approaching their second year explore, interact, and express joy. Chrissy and her son's situation was profoundly unsettling. Some speculated that her decision to have a child was influenced more by her desire to cling to a failing relationship than by maternal instincts. Critics worried about the boy's well-being and questioned Chrissy's parenting, though many comments stemmed from care rather than criticism. Later, a former close friend of Chrissy's came forward, revealing a private side of exhaustion and frustration behind her public facade. Chrissy appeared overwhelmed but unwilling to seek help, instead retreating into denial. As the child's condition drew more attention, she eventually stopped posting photos and videos of her son online, a step many saw as overdue and necessary for focusing on his needs. This decision was met with surprising support from those who cared. Yet when Chrissy and her son appeared again at a church event, it became clear the boy had changed little. Unlike his peers, he remained silent, still and emotionally withdrawn, a heartbreaking image that deepened concerns. Memories of Chrissy's pregnancy, marked by smoking, drinking, and conflict with Blueface, resurfaced. Many believe this chaos contributed directly to the child's health challenges. During pregnancy, Chrissy openly expressed doubts about motherhood and even mentioned abortion. Nonetheless, the child was born, and his condition became impossible to ignore. Even Clarissa, Blueface's mother and longtime critic of Chrissy, spoke out after seeing her grandson, unable to recognize the child she hoped for. Chrissy's public life, filled with music promotions and motivational posts, seemed at odds with the deteriorating reality of her son's health. The growing alarm united fans, doctors, and strangers, urging Chrissy to prioritize medical care. Yet she continued to dismiss concerns, insisting she was strong and everything was fine, a message that failed to reassure anyone. Clarissa's voice stood out, emphasizing that this child needed help, not more public spectacle. Her words resonated deeply with many, highlighting the urgent need for truth and care beyond fame and social media. This child's story stretches far beyond the usual celebrity drama and public spectacle. It stands as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities that neglect and instability can impose, especially on a young life that never chose to be caught in such turmoil. He did not ask to be born into a world clouded by uncertainty, where his parents' struggles and personal battles overshadow his own needs. Yet he is the one forced to endure the consequences of decisions made long before he even entered this world. Born amid conflict, public scrutiny, and emotional upheaval, this boy finds himself unwillingly at the heart of a narrative shaped entirely by the adults around him from the very beginning. The environment has been chaotic. His mother, Chrissy, chose to share her pregnancy and early experiences of motherhood with the public, exposing both herself and her son to relentless judgment and towering expectations that come with fame. The turbulence of her relationship with Blueface only deepened the storm. Videos of her drinking, smoking, and fighting during pregnancy sparked worry and criticism that she prioritized image over health for both herself and her unborn child. Through all this noise, the child's well-being was largely overlooked. Now, nearly 2 years later, he still carries the weight of those early decisions. At an age when most children are eager to explore, communicate, and grow, his withdrawal and detachment are more than just signs of developmental delays. They hint at something profoundly troubling. Concerned voices are not merely judging. They are pleading for recognition of a child who struggles to engage physically and emotionally with the world around him. The pressing issue is no longer the online backlash or Chrissy's public defenses. It is about the actions she is willing to take for her son's future. Can she set aside her quest for approval and curated image to face the possibility that her child urgently needs professional care? The longer she denies the problem, the greater the risk of lasting damage. Every child deserves a chance to thrive. Early intervention can transform a life. Yet Chrissy's refusal to acknowledge the seriousness of her son's condition only fuels doubt and deepens worry. Her evasiveness suggests she remains cloaked behind a carefully constructed online persona, choosing avoidance over confronting the reality at hand. Equally vital in this unfolding story is the role of Blueface, the child's father. While he has occasionally stepped into the public eye to comment on the situation, these rare appearances do little to demonstrate genuine, hands-on involvement in his son's life. His public statements, though sometimes well-intentioned, often come across as superficial attempts to manage his image rather than true expressions of commitment to his child's welfare. This distance is not only noticeable but deeply concerning, as it paints a picture of a father more preoccupied with maintaining his reputation than with stepping up to meet the pressing needs of his family. Being a parent requires far more than occasional words. It demands consistent, active participation and emotional presence. A child, especially one facing developmental or emotional challenges, needs stability and reassurance from both parents. Unfortunately, Blueface's actions so far suggest a level of passivity that adds yet another layer of uncertainty to the already fragile environment in which this young boy is growing up. His absence in meaningful ways does not merely reflect neglect. It sends a subtle, painful message to his son that he is not a priority. This perceived neglect from a father figure can deeply affect a child's sense of security and self-worth. Moreover, Blueface's silence in the face of mounting concerns raises troubling questions about his willingness to acknowledge the seriousness of his son's condition. Publicly, he has sometimes downplayed or sidestepped the issue, missing critical opportunities to advocate for his child's health and development. When a parent fails to openly confront and support their child's needs, it can create confusion and instability, leaving the child to grapple with challenges alone. The emotional and psychological impact of such neglect is profound and long-lasting, often influencing the child's future relationships and ability to trust. Beyond the emotional consequences, Blueface's detachment affects the practical aspects of care. Parenting a child who may require specialized attention involves coordinating medical visits, therapy sessions, and daily routines that nurture growth. This responsibility demands time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt. Blueface's minimal visible involvement suggests he is not fully embracing these responsibilities, leaving the burden disproportionately on the mother, Chrissy, and potentially compromising the child's opportunity for early intervention. The role of a father is more than biological. It is about presence, protection, and participation. Blueface's apparent reluctance to fully engage in his son's life not only hampers the child's development, but also weakens the foundation of parental partnership necessary for effective co-parenting. When one parent withdraws or remains distant, the balance shifts, creating a void that can lead to greater instability in the home environment. Ultimately, the silence and distance from Blueface highlight a critical issue. The child is caught in the middle of two adults who seem, at times, more invested in their public personas than in the well-being of the very life they brought into this world. This absence of genuine parental support undermines the child's chances to thrive and raises urgent questions about what will change moving forward. If Blueface hopes to make a positive difference, it will require more than words. It will take action, dedication, and an earnest commitment to being the father his son desperately needs. This boy's life should never have been transformed into a spectacle or battleground for public debate. Yet because of those entrusted to care for him, he remains center stage. The future now hinges on the choices Chrissy and Blueface make in the coming months. It is a deeply painful circumstance, one desperately needing resolution before it's too late. If both parents can rise to the challenge, face the consequences of their actions, and seek the help their son so clearly requires, there remains hope. But if they continue to overlook the warning signs, this child may remain trapped in silence and isolation, a victim of neglect from those who should love and protect him most. The world watches, waiting. Will these adults step up, accept responsibility, and provide the support this child so desperately needs? Or will they keep turning away until the chance to help slips away? This story is far from over, and the eyes of the internet remain fixed, hoping for a path toward healing and care.